Hi, dear listener. We are going to talk today about bravery and snot.
And we're going to do a little tiny episode of Honestly Dear Listener. You in?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. We're two childhood best friends talking about creative mindset.
And snot. I'm Emily Hatch.
And I'm Carrie Schaefer, and this is Honestly Dear Listener.
Honestly, dear listener.
Woo!
Let's talk about stuff, Carrie. Let's talk about how you're sick right now.
Ooh, yeah. I've got the vids, everyone. I got the co-vids.
When you say it like that, it sounds kind of fun.
I know, aren't you jealous?
No.
Don't you wish you were me?
No, but it does sound more fun. To the vids.
Coat to the vids.
Yes, sinus rinse. But only with distilled water because you don't want a brain amoeba.
Okay, this was a fascinating tidbit. So, like, people have heard of the neti pot, right? It's like this little like teapot almost thing that you put like warm water in, and you. What do you do? My husband does it all the time because it really helps him. But you like pour the what happens, Emily?
So I like to use a squeeze bottle instead of the neti pot because if I'm really congested, the neti pot just like swamps my face, just lays there.
Oh.
But essentially, whatever you do, you pour. I want to like sing a song about like I'm a neti pot.
Mm-hmm.
Goes into nostril, other side it comes out. So basically, it just washes through your sinuses and shits the snot out of the other side.
But it like you can see it come out.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Are you serious? How have I
Mhm.
not done this before?
I think you would love it, to
I
be
think I would love it
honest.
too.
Uh so you like the squeeze make it it's delightful because it kind of pushes it a little harder and you're just like water, 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 and then all of a sudden it's like click, boom, 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 and you can like see all of the chunks of what would still be in your face if you hadn't done it. It's
Oh my
very
god, like,
satisfying.
that sounds magical.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
tell the thing about the distilled water.
Yes. So they say don't use and if you actually look at the packaging, it says don't use anything but distilled water, not just purified, distilled, because people were using tap water and there's bacteria, even if it's filtered, there's bacteria in water if it's not distilled. So someone died of a brain amoeba because your sinuses are real close to your brain. And some people have like perforations and stuff. So it can actually, like, the bacteria can get through that into your brain. So please rinse, watch your big old bugs, but only with distilled water and saline packets.
Terrible ways to die.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we talked last week about how we were going to have a great guest on this
Mhm.
week, but we had to reschedule that because when we were supposed to do it, Carrie was big time thieves, if we're
Yeah.
going with the fun names for shitty things.
I was totally thieves yesterday, like, it was not good.
It was like the weths were up here,
Uh-huh.
but you were under the weths
I
with
was
the
under the webs with
thieves.
the thieves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Now you're talking.
that's a band, right? The Thieves.
If it isn't, it should be. So anyway, Emily had to reschedule our guest because I was questioning whether reality was real.
Yeah.
And
Little fever brain.
right. So
Mhm.
so here we are, like the night before we're supposed to release a podcast episode, and we're like, oh,
Mhm.
we're doing it anyway. We're
Mm.
showing up.
Mhm.
So this is us showing up and being
Yeah,
consistent, because if we don't take our goals seriously, we're not taking ourselves seriously. I will say that this is not us advocating for you to ignore your body and what it needs. Please listen to your body. And if tonight I was feeling like I was last night, we would not be doing this.
Mhm.
But since I feel better and I was like, I can handle that, we're doing it.
absolutely. And in fact, I texted and was like, "What's going to happen? Am I just going to talk?" Cuz Lord knows she has a lot to say.
I mean, that's an episode
She
I would be excited to listen to.
Well, don't do it, it's fine. Well, one day.
That was not
Uh,
sarcastic. I was being serious.
well, thanks.
Mhm.
I'll still mostly talk if you like.
That sounds good too.
Just kidding. So this week, I did a show for New York Songwriters Collective, and it was like a showcase they do monthly, and I got to sing one of my original songs at the bitter end. Was very cool. The bitter end is an iconic venue which I knew, but I made the mistake of on the way typing in who's performed at the bitter end. We're talking Stevie Wonder, one of my heroes, Joni Mitchell, Lady Gaga,
Dang.
a million, not a literal million, but a lot of famous people have been on that stage. And now I have poorly played the piano on that stage. I played like I was blind, but I played like I was blind and hadn't touched a piano before. So because I know a lot of amazing blind piano players uh, have made it. I just played maybe more accurately like I had hooves instead of hands
Oh,
because I was
lord.
very nervous. So yeah, it was really fun, and I had practiced. I wrote it like 2.5 weeks ago, and then I had practiced it, and I could play it at home. And then when I freaked out, my hands turned to hooves, and I kind of just vibed
Yeah.
to the groove and had the audience clap, and it was fun.
So, what is that? Okay, but back up a second because what you're describing is a lot of people's, especially performers, nightmare.
Mhm.
You're on a stage that a bunch of people who are super venerated in the music industry and heck, the world. And you're playing a song and it is coming out in a way that is not ideal.
Mhm.
Because I know that's a nightmare for me. Like that would make me hella anxious.
Mhm.
But like, how did you get through that scenario?
So I like to watch other performers because I know that we're all freaked out, and some of them were shaky too. And some of them weren't. And some were like dead on their pitches, and some weren't. And some had to restart. That's one thing. Everyone's freaked out. Uh, Also, it's a song. You're not, I think I've said this before. One of my least favorite encounters with a person lent itself to my favorite advice. He said, Emily, you're not a brain surgeon. You're a singer. If you fuck up today, nobody's going to die. They'll either remember you because you were great or they'll forget you. You won't be bad enough to make them remember you for being bad. He didn't say that,
Mm.
but that's what he meant. So um, I focused on what I wanted to make the audience feel with my song and how I wanted to feel with them. And so I was thinking about the fact that, like, if I saw someone just vibing and like the message I was delivering with the song felt the most aligned with me that I've felt about any song. And so I thought, you know what? If I fuck it up, then I'm just going to vibe with this audience and hope that they're with me. And oddly enough, I left the stage feeling like it didn't go well, despite what my husband and coach and friends were saying. I left the show feeling like it didn't go well. And then I watched the video and I was like, oh, people were with me. They were laughing, they were clapping, they were enjoying it. Uh, and so, yeah, I think focusing on what the point is, which is like I'm expressing myself and I want this audience to be like a big group of friends that's like, "Yeah, yeah," with me. Um,
Yeah.
that helped a lot.
So you're focusing on the experience you want to the experience, the relationship you want to create with the audience
Mhm,
and the message you're trying to convey with what you're performing.
mhm. And the weird thing is it's a fine line because if you for me anyway, if you think about it like, "Oh my god, I have to create this spirit of fun, and I have to make them like me, and I have to make them think that I," like, you can't do it like that because you can't actually control what the audience thinks about you or
Totally.
how they feel in general, but you can be like, "I'm gonna show up like all of you are my buddies." Because that's how I wanna feel when I show up, and I
Mm.
hope you feel like you're all my friends too, and I
Mhm.
want you to feel that vibe, so I'm gonna put out, "What's up, friends? Here's this dumb thing that I really like." So that was it. I can't control what the audience actually picks up,
Mhm.
but if I go in being like, "We're friends," then I can control how I feel, and people are observing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think that this has implications for not just performance, but also so many other disciplines, maybe even all the art disciplines. Because when I sit down to write something, it's very easy to feel like, oh, people wouldn't like that. Or what if people say whatever it is, oh,
Mhm.
she can't write. Oh, this idea is crap, whatever it is. Instead, pivoting the belief, whether it's true or not, I don't that's beside the point to me.
Mhm.
But, like, I believe it, so I make it true for myself. But choosing instead to believe that, you know what? My audience, whoever's reading this book wants to be transported. They're showing up with the book or whatever it is. They're showing up wanting to have an experience, wanting
Mm.
to feel something, wanting to be transported.
Mhm.
And they want that more than they want to be critical of you.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
truly, when I sit down with a book, all I want is for that to happen, to
Mhm.
love the book. I don't approach it with, this is going to be crap, but whatever. I guess I'll sit down. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, like, what kinda hot shit is in here? Like, that's not what you
Totally.
what you show up if you show up like that, you have problems, and we're
Right.
not really necessarily trying to reach folks that are so deeply into their own self-hatred,
Mhm.
that they can't enjoy art. That's not who we're trying to reach.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that that's a really good point too. You can't control the reception of whatever it is you're making, but you do have say or influence over the stories you tell yourselves. We
Mhm.
tell ourselves. We
Yep.
have agency there.
Yep.
Why not make the story be as, like, encouraging and fun and interesting as possible?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I left that after I saw the video, I felt this, like, jazzed feeling
Mm.
that was like, "I want more of that."
Mhm.
And instead of I've left a lot of my shows where I was doing more of, like, in air quotes, "my thing," and felt like this post-show kind of depression,
Mhm.
of sorts, and like, "Oh, I didn't get this reaction," or "I didn't blah, blah, blah," but after this, I felt, like, more of that,
Mhm.
like, I wanna dive in and be like, "What kind of weird shit can we get into? Let's go." So I left being like, "Yes, this, yes, this, yes, this,"
Mhm.
so yeah. And that's just so much better of a place than, "I want people to think I'm good. I want people to like me. I want them to talk about it in this way." Like, no, I just wanna say my weird shit, and I hope that there are some other weirdos that are like, "Hee hee, yes." You know?
Well, and as an audience member, we want to go along with you. We want to, and if there's a quote unquote mess up, we want to feel safe enough in your hands that you're like, okay, let's keep going. Like, we don't want to feel the awkwardness of, oh,
Mm.
I messed up. I got to start all like, we don't want to feel that. We want you to be human about it
Mhm.
and be like, humans make mistakes and this was mine, but we're just going to keep going with it because that's fun.
Yeah.
So clap with me, like exactly what you did at the gig.
I'm just trying to picture a world where I just stand up and I'm like, okay. And then just walk off the stage.
Nice. I've seen that happen, by the
I
way.
mean,
I've seen that happen, and I have empathy for that person.
100%. Like I've talked to students who were like, and then I just couldn't make a sound when I got up there.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
I personally will black out and just keep going. That's kind of my thing, but we all process things in different ways. I did, however, get up early because he told me I was fourth. And so I just heard I'm fourth. So I went one, two, three, my turn, got on stage, and he was like, "It's actually Kara's turn."
Oh,
And
shoot.
I had sat like about to sit down at the keyboard. And I turned around and I was like, "I'm so sorry," and got off the stage. So I had that rush of adrenaline,
Yep.
and then it just I shook her whole song, and then I got up again and shook my whole song. So it was really cool. I got a double dose of, adrenaline.
So you basically had 2 performance typical nightmares
Mm.
happen in one night
Yeah,
with
hell
one
yeah.
performance.
Yeah, I'm kind of an overachiever, you know?
Yeah, you
So
are.
yeah, so when I got back up, I was like, "I'm Emily Hatch, and now it's my turn." And I, like, finger guns the girl before me, so
Nice.
I just found out that I am being featured. So Carrie and I went to a open mic, like songwriter round thing while you were here, and I found out I'm officially featured in the next one. So my picture's on the thing on the flyer, the post. I don't know.
Who
My
knows?
face is on film. No,
So for all of our listeners in New York City, where can they go watch you in the flesh?
next month at Houghton Hall on Sunday, the last Sunday of the month, the 23rd. And then I actually just talked to someone. There's a musical that's happening that they open up for songwriter, like open mic spots before the musical happens. And it's a new musical. And if you can apply, and I think I'll be performing at that next week to be one of 4 featured people that they have on before the show.
It's great.
We shall see, man. We shall see.
Where can we get tickets or where what give me the URLs,
Oh, yeah.
the wwws.
Well, how about I give them to you after this and I'll put them in the thing?
We'll have them in the show notes.
Well, sometimes we persevere in the face of being a little nervous and playing with hooves. And sometimes we persevere by first listening to if we're okay to do so, and
Mhm.
then saying, let's show up for 20 minutes and talk to a friend and not miss out. So thank you, Carrie, for being here, and know that it was okay if not. But thank you for doing it.
And thank you, Emily, for persevering even though you mistakes were made in your
Thanks.
show. Well, on that note,
Flush
uh
out your sinuses. Be brave. Listen to your body. Until next time.
bye.
Honestly, dear listener.
Woo.